Hey folks, I am just a dude and welcome to the I'm Just a Dude video channel. Today we're going to look at Rotten Tomatoes. We're going to look at Rotten Tomatoes because I am a Star Wars fan, and today The Rise of Skywalker is coming out at around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And guess what? I've been a Star Wars fan since 1977. It was the first movie I ever saw with my father, and I was blown away the moment I saw the Star Destroyer coming across the screen, and fantasy and sci-fi were intertwined for me forever and ever. And I've always loved Star Wars. I love the hero's journey. And guess what? I'm not going to go see Star Wars tonight because I don't like what they did with the characters, the story, and I don't like the fact that my Star Wars has been poisoned with wokeness, with social justice warrior stuff, identity politics stuff, and gender equality stuff. Now, not that gender equality is bad, not at all, but when it's the focus and point of the story, yeah, that's not my Star Wars. All right, folks, before we get into this, I would like you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, my BitChute channel, or my Brighteon channel. If you're on YouTube, click that little bell notification so every time I make an upload, you'll get to see it first. If you're on BitChute, click that $sign next to the subscribe button after you subscribed, and anything you would like to donate would be greatly appreciated, just to help the channels out. All right, folks, let's get into this. First thing I want to do before we get to the Rise of Skywalker critics rating, I want to kind of go through a little bit of a short history with you about when I fell in love with Star Wars. Now, here's Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Back when I watched it, it was just Star Wars. The critics' consensus. It's fresh. It's 93% approved. And audience score is 96%. That leads you to believe that it's a pretty good movie. Am I wrong? Not at all. Let's look at The Empire Strikes Back. Episode 5, 1980. Critics' consensus, 94%. Audience score, 97%. Another fantastic, awesome movie. Let's look at Return of the Jedi. Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Critics' consensus, 82%. Boo. People, there are a lot of people who didn't like Return of the Jedi as much, but look at the audience score, 94%. That should tell you something. Now, I don't know about you folks who listen to my channel, but generally speaking, I look at the audience score first, and I really don't pay much attention to the critic score. But the critic score does have an impact on how well this movie may do, at least in its first weekend run. So, let's continue the story. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Now, I was thrilled because after 30 plus years, I was going to get Luke, Han, and Leia back together again. I thought this was going to be phenomenal. This was going to be great. And they were never on screen together at the same time. So, kind of a letdown. My favorite character, Han Solo, spoiler alert, dies at the hands of his son. And during the course of the movie, you kind of learn really quick, Han Solo all of a sudden isn't the hero that he used to be. Now he's a deadbeat dad. He's back to doing his old smuggler ways with Chewie. And this is a guy who had gotten out of that lifestyle, was saved by his friends and his future wife to get out of that kind of life. And now, he was a general, married to a former princess or a general in the rebellion or the Republic. Now, because things got a little rough with his son, he ran away and left his wife and his child behind. Interesting. So a guy I really liked in the beginning. We saw the character growth in, Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Now he's a deadbeat dad. Thanks, J.J. Abrams. Thanks, Kathleen Kennedy. Thank you, Bob Iger. So I was pretty much done with the story at that point. Oh, and there were little smidgens of social justice warrior stuff. There was a lot of gender equality getting pushed into our face. I remember a specific scene in Force Awakens where I was first going, oh man, I don't know if I'm going to like this. It was first when Finn finds Rey and they're getting attacked by TIE fighters. And he goes to grab her hand and he runs with her. And she goes, "Let go of my hand." And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. If I was getting attacked by planes shooting things at me, I don't care who you are. You could hold my hand all you want, because all I want to do is survive. You're not going to be like, "Let go of my hand." You know why they put that in there? Female empowerment. And as soon as they did that, they kind of lost me. You would have never seen anything like that in the original saga. But I digress a little bit. On to The Last Jedi. Yes, The Last Jedi was the one that finished them all off, because now it was official. We had a Mary Sue in the house. She finally meets Luke Skywalker, who was another character I love, not quite as much as Han Solo. But I figured, you know what, I'm going to go back to The Last Jedi and I'm going to watch Luke Skywalker be the hero that I've always been told that he is for the last 40 plus years, because of what George Lucas has told us Luke Skywalker is. And that is the most powerful and grandest Jedi in the history of Jedis. So I thought I was going to see something pretty special. But instead I see a hermit, a begrudging, a man with no hope, and quite honestly, pretty weak compared to Rey. They had a little stick fight on the little planet that they were on where she was getting trained, and she whipped his butt. She knocked him down on the ground like nothing. I kind of equated that, as I was watching that in the theater, to, Luke Skywalker meeting Ben Kenobi for the first time, and after spending a few hours with him, Luke kicked his butt because he has the Force. It was insane. It's ridiculous. And at that point in time, the gender identity politics and the virtue signaling and the SJW stuff and the woke stuff, I was out. They ruined another character that was, near and dear to my heart and beloved as a child, all in the name of, female empowerment. They couldn't go on and do their own story and do that, and that's fine. But to go back and destroy characters that were already established at a certain point in life just to make them look bad and make them look stupid in the name of building up another character, that's just plain wrong. And fortunately or unfortunately, the stories themselves were pretty sad. From point A to point C, from Force Awakens to The Rise of Skywalker, the story is just sad as pathetic. No good story arc. Nothing like what George Lucas probably would have given them if they used his story treatments in the first place. But apparently, his story treatments just weren't woke enough for them, Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger. And finally, we get to the disaster, in which I will not go see tonight. It's the first Star Wars movie I will not see in the theater, because I've seen enough with The Force Awakens. I've definitely seen enough with The Rise of Skywalker. And this one here, according to spoilers that you can find online all over the place, she is the ultimate Mary Sue that is undefeatable, unbeatable. Anakin couldn't do it. Luke Skywalker couldn't do it. But she will be able to give the whole galaxy peace. It's just insane. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your point of view, whether you're a traditionalist and you like the original Star Wars trilogy, like myself, or you're even a person who likes the new Disney trilogies, guess what? We all lose. Apparently, if you like the new Disney Star Wars trilogy, you're not going to like this movie, apparently, because the critics are telling us that it's horrible. Well, they're the most wokest, most social justice warrior, gender equality kind of group and crowd that you could find. Well, from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, guess what? There's not enough of it in there, so they're giving it a really bad rating. Oh, and the boot, the story itself is horrible. You feel nothing for these characters. I feel nothing for any of these characters that are in this movie at all. That's just bad writing. That's bad planning on Kathleen Kennedy's part, J.J. Abrams' part, and anyone else who had anything to do with this movie in an authoritative position. That's all it is. It's horrible. And anyone who's a traditionalist no longer wants to see their characters trounced on, beat up. They know what they're getting. They're getting a Mary Sue who can beat everybody in all things. No struggles, no hurts, no pains. And they're going to try and squash it all into this movie to make that up. But it's too late. You destroyed two of the biggest characters in cinematic history that children loved for decades and decades and decades, all in the name of your own social justice warrior agenda. They literally destroyed the franchise, not only for themselves as far as making money, for what it stood for a lot of kids and children that grew up watching the original trilogy. I just wish they would have left it alone. I think we all would have been a lot happier. And guess what? The critics' consensus is 58%. Now, I've been watching this. This is December 19th at 3:43 p.m. I've been watching this tomato meter for the last 24 hours plus. And it's gone as low as 54 from what I've seen, all the way up to 59. And currently it's at 58. With 263 critics actually, writing their reviews for it. This is disastrous. When you look at The Last Jedi at 91%, audience score 43%, 58% for critics alone right there. How many critics are on there? 455. So they're a little over halfway. They're about halfway there of how many critics are actually going to, give their opinions on the tomato meter. And audience scoring will probably start tonight or tomorrow. This is a shame. It's sad. It's just sad. And I'm not going to go see it. And I know there's a lot of other people out there who don't have to see it, except people who are in the know and they have to talk about the movie and they want to give their reviews. I'll wait. I'll wait till someone pays for my ticket, or I can get it at home when it comes out on DVD. I'll watch it. And that's it. DVD or online or something. But it's just a sad state of affairs in the Star Wars world. It's a sad state of affairs when it comes to your Disney Star Wars trilogy. They literally destroyed the franchise with 3 movies. All because they weren't focused on story, but on social justice warrior nonsense. Alright folks, listen, if you'd be so kind, like this video, comment below, let me know your thoughts. What is your take on the Star Wars Disney trilogy? What has it done for you? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think I'm right? Am I wrong? What is your take? And remember to like the video. And remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click on that little bell notification so every time I make an upload, you'll get to see it first. And until next time, folks, what do I always say? I say, God bless, take care, and until next time, bye now.